everybody, welcome back to Desert Sky Adventures. Today we are back in Tombstone, Arizona, and we're gonna take a tour of Allen Street, one of the most notorious streets in the Old West. Take a look at some of the historical relics, and you're invited to come along with us. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and you'll be sure to catch all of our future adventures. But for now, let's go check out Tombstone. We are staying once again at the Larian Motel, one of my favorite places to stay in Tombstone. And if you're familiar with the area, you know that every room here is named after a different historical figure. And this is actually the very first time that we've ever stayed in the Doc Holiday Room. So let's check it out. So this is definitely probably the nicest room I've stayed in here at the Larian Doc Holiday Room. It is a decent sized room, has 2 queen-size beds, but the decor in here is really nice. They don't have this kind of stuff in all the rooms.
Refrigerator.
Decent TV with a fridge.
Doesn't have a, I don't see a microwave in this one. The other one didn't have a microwave either, though, I don't think.
Yeah, no microwave in these rooms, but you do have a fridge. You do have a TV. You do have an ice machine right out over there. Yep, coffee pot for sure. Nice Western decor in here. I really like this lamp. How does it turn on? Just like that. Oh, look at that, a stick lamp. It's pretty rustic. But Larian, definitely a very comfortable place to stay when you're in Tombstone. The price is definitely right. It is not the most really expensive. Nice. The owners of the place are very nice, very knowledgeable of the area. But this is our accommodation for tonight. All right, well, now that we're all settled in at the Larian, we're gonna go ahead and head over towards Allen Street, which is the main street in town here, where all the cool old West stuff happens. But I found it interesting. I was reading a little book on Tombstone last night, and I was reading up on the history of the Birdcage Theater, and it was often said around town that it's an army truck. It's often said around town that, oh, there's another one. What's going on? Anyway, it was often said around town that no respectable woman, I can't talk today, no respectable woman would set foot inside the Birdcage Theater. And the places where the respectable women went to go watch shows was that building right there. That is Scheifelen Hall, named after the man who founded Tombstone, Ed Scheifelen. I think he was the one who discovered the silver or something like that. But still there. It's a Masonic Lodge. You might be able to see that. It was written on the side of the building, but it's a Masonic Lodge now, but back in the day, that was another place around town to go see shows. We made it to the OK Corral, hopefully with enough time to see the last Gunfight show. I've only seen it once, and it was pretty good. I'd like to see it again. So we're going to walk around to the front and see if they have any tickets left for the 3 o'clock show. That's about 45 minutes, so we're cutting it a little close, but you never know. We might get lucky. Just up ahead, up in the distance there, is the Tombstone Courthouse. I'm really hoping we have time to get over there and check that out before the sun goes down. We'll see how it goes. But we've made it over here to Allen Street, and we're going to see if they've got any tickets left for the gunfight. Let's go check it out. Well, we made it to the OK Corral, and it says to stop if you don't have a ticket. But we got tickets. So we're going to go check out the gunfight show. There are some cool things in here. Some old saddles. Oh yeah, they have a hearse over here. Is that a real hearse or a replica hearse? I know the Black Mariah inside the birdcage is the real deal, but this is a real... Yeah, this is a real one. Wow. Well, what do you expect? It's Tombstone, right? We just visited their gravesite in the last video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Very interesting. Yeah, old embalming tools and things like that. Wow. Well, what else would you expect to find at the OK Corral? Out here we have some more relics. I would love to show all of this stuff, but time is a little short, and I'm hoping to get some things done before it gets dark, so we'll see how it goes. We might have time to come back and check this stuff out. But these are all antique buggies and wagons, and this was the actual OK Corral right here. If you came into town, this is where you would store your horse and see the rest of it on foot. Back over here, we're gonna go check out where the gunfight actually happened. All right, so this right here, this is where it all went down. If you saw the movie Tombstone, you're probably pretty familiar with the gunfight at the OK Corral, which technically is not true. It's the gunfight at the alleyway next to the OK Corral, but that doesn't sound as good, I guess. But this right here is where it all happened. You can see how close they were to each other. They were, it's definitely quite a throwdown, but 3 of these guys died. Billy Clanton, he died. Ike Clanton ran away. Frank McLaury and Tom McLaury, they died. Right here.
To the OK Corral.
Oh.
The West's most famous gunfight began where you are now standing.
You don't say.
As you look around, you can see the gunfighters, just as they stood on October 26th, 1881.
So as it turns out, Wyatt Earp here is the only one that did not get shot in some way. Was not injured that day. Well, other than Ike Clanton, who ran away. But I just noticed Doc Holiday over here dropped his shotgun. That would have changed the outcome quite a bit, I think, had that been reality. And inside C.S. Fly's photography shop, we have a picture of Ed Scheifelen, who's the man who discovered Tombstone. His friends told him if he went out there, all he'd find is his tombstone. Well, he found quite a bit more than that. And we also get a good look at Doc Holliday's room. This was his actual room, and the gunfight happened right outside that window where the character who's portraying Big Nose Kate is standing. So he didn't have very far to go to get involved in that skirmish. It happened right outside the building here. Not the most attractive woman. That green building right there is C.S. Fly's shop, and that window is where Doc Holliday's room was. So he was right there when this all happened. And this little exhibit here is dedicated to the prostitutes of Tombstone. It was quite a lively profession back in the day. I wonder if you can show that on YouTube. You don't really see much. If you're planning on coming to Tombstone, I highly recommend the Gunfight reenactment at the OK Corral. You can see they had a pretty good-sized crowd today. We'll just see a little piece of it here, the climax of the show, reenacting the gunfight. Across the street and just up the road a little bit is my favorite shop on Allen Street. This is the Smoke Signals Smoke Shop. And this is a great place if you like a fine cigar. I've been known to indulge from time to time, but you can get some really good cigars in here. My favorite are the C Notes. They come from Nicaragua, but let's see if they have any in stock. Most of the time they do. I've been here a couple times and they've been out, but usually they've got it. Do they have them? Oh, there they are.
Do you want one or two?
Oh, and like most of the shops on Allen Street, there's plenty of Old West stuff to purchase in here if you're so inclined. You can get yourself some spurs. And they've got an assortment of spurs if you're in the market for that kind of thing. They've also got some vintage weapons in here available for purchase. They've also got an assortment of Turkish lamps here, and you can actually enjoy a cigar inside the building. This is the only building in Tombstone where you can smoke inside, and because of that it's 21 or over. All right, so we saw the gunfight and stopped by the Smoke Signals, my favorite shops. Got another lamp. They are quite nice and they're not too expensive, so we pick one up almost every time we come down here. We got a collection of them. But the wind is getting a little chilly, so I think we're gonna head back over to the Larian right across the street here and grab a jacket. And we'll come back out for some more fun. Well, now we're on Allen Street in front of the Crystal Palace. And you may recall from the movie, but Virgil Earp was actually ambushed right in front of the Crystal Palace. And that actually did happen. And this is where it happened, right here. So he was crippled for the rest of his life, but he did survive that incident. And this is where it happened. Here's Zy Clanton's Haunted Hotel, also known as the Tombstone Ghosts and Legends Tour. Now, this is a walk-through attraction. I believe it's $10 or $12 a piece. And I do recommend it. It is a little on the high-tech side for Tombstone, but a lot of good history and storytelling of the area. And it's all done in such a way that is very interesting and fun. So check them out if you come down here. And we're at another historic spot. This is where Morgan Earp was shot. Now, you might recall from the movie, this actually did happen, but Morgan Earp was shot playing pool. And he did not survive that incident, but that did actually happen. And this is not the same building. That building burned down in the fire, but this window here is about where that window would have been. So Morgan Earp shot right inside this building here. It's something I haven't seen a whole lot of, but there's actually snow on the mountains west of town here. It is winter, of course, but that is a very nice picture there. And this here is the Cochise County Courthouse. I called it the Tombstone Courthouse earlier, but that is incorrect. It is the Cochise County Courthouse. Here's a picture I found from the early 1900s. There's cars parked in front. But a very historic building. There's a nice museum inside. It's about $6, I believe, to go in there. And this photo of John Heath was hanging up in the C.S. Fly photography shop. But if you're familiar with the history, John Heath here was found to be the ringleader of the Bisbee robbery, which resulted in the deaths of several innocent people. And his 5 buddies were legally hung. They are in the Boot Hill Cemetery. But Heath here was not actually involved in the incident. He was just the ringleader. And he was sentenced to life in prison. Well, that was not good enough. The people broke him out of the jail in Bisbee. They overpowered the marshal. And they dragged him up here to Tombstone, where they hung him on this telegraph pole. Vigilante justice. So right here is where that photograph was taken. John Heath. Angry mob hung him up by this post, and this is actually what's left of that post, but it is still here. Now, we can't say for sure, but I believe the photo was taken somewhere in an angle like this. Of course, that house there was not there at the time. We walk around the house to get a better view of the mountains, and it looks like it was right about this area where that photo was taken. But we know it is definitely looking to the west, because looking east, the mountains look completely different. On the way back to Allen Street now, we pass Wyatt's Hotel. This is a very nice hotel. If you get a chance to stay here, There's only a couple rooms, so it's not easy to book, but a very nice hotel indeed. And we decided to have dinner at Big Nose Kate's Saloon, which is, of course, a historical place. Now, this is what the saloon looks like today. And the bottom part of the building was made of adobe, so when the fires happened, that part did not burn. And it still looks very much like it did back in 1881, 82. But the Grand Hotel was opened in 1880. This is what it used to look like. You can see the bottom floor still looks like that. The top part got burned away. And this photograph here, taken in 1880, was the only photograph I could find of the actual Grand Hotel. But we do see the Golden Eagle Brewery on the right side, so we know we're looking the right direction. But that's what it looked like then. This is what it looks like today. And right now it's...
This is a man who traveled the country, so I'm sure his numbers are much higher.
This is what those Turkish lamps look like when they are illuminated. Very nice. And the Oriental Saloon is live music. They are still jumping on a Saturday night. Good to see. Well, as you can see now, night has fallen, and we are on the south end of Allen Street, the south end of the historical district anyway. And right behind me is the Birdcage Theater. It's one of the few places they actually let you go in and take tours of at night. So, what'd you do last Saturday night? Oh, you know, the usual. Just hung out alone in the dark in one of the most haunted places in all America. Ain't no thing. All right, so here we are back inside the Birdcage Theater. Thanks to our good friend Karen up there at the front. She lets us come back here and film for the rest of the group. And I have done this before, but it is interesting every single time. What you see right here is the original Birdcage Theater curtain. And if you've seen the movie Tombstone, this is one of the things that I think they did it intentionally, but they got wrong in their movie version of the curtain. You see Fatima, or Little Egypt, who we saw earlier out there in the lobby. But that is one of the details that is different from the movie and real life. Now, back in the day, all this stuff in the middle of the floor would not have been here. This is here just for display and historical purposes, but this is where the tables would have been, tables and chairs.
I think it was the first fire, they moved a lot of items here after the second one, because this is one of the few buildings that burned, and when the town never reopened, everybody just kind of left their stuff here.
And a lot of it's still here.
The place so nice.
I have a couple bullet holes here in the stage. Got some bullet holes here in the floor.
Gonna play some poker. It's a poker table.
Here's another one. These shots were fired by, I believe, Doc Holiday or Johnny Ringo. I forgot which one it actually was, but they had an altercation right here at this table. And shots were fired, but both of them were so drunk that they completely missed their targets and hit the floor.
I know.
And this back wall here facing out towards the lobby, this wall would not have been here. They built this partition after the fact, but there used to be a catwalk right here, and you could actually go from one set of cribs over here across the catwalk over to the other side, just in case you had to get over there for whatever reason. There's an old dice table. Crap table, to be exact. Very old. I have a K2 meter here. It works. Well, it kind of works. I'm pretty sure I'm not bursting any bubbles here, but the movie Tombstone was not filmed here. In fact, none of the movie was actually filmed in Tombstone. But they did their best to make it look like Tombstone, that's for sure. 16 gunfights happened in here, and 27 people died in here, as far as we know. But a lot of history happened in this room, right here. You can feel it every time you come in here. Look at all the bullet holes in the ceiling. Can you imagine? Oh, this show sucks. I'm gonna fire my gun off him here. That's just the way they did it. And the rest of the group is caught up to us now. But if you come to Tombstone, if you're gonna do one thing, I highly recommend the Birdcage Ghost Tour. You get a good look at the entire building. You can spend some time down in the basement where we are here. And you can get some historical facts about the longest poker game in history that happened right here. But I do enjoy the nighttime tours better than the daytime tours. The nighttime tour is strictly about ghosts, but you spend 30 minutes in the dark, as you can see here. And you're allowed to ask questions, see if you get any strange recordings, and after about 20 minutes in the dark, you can start taking flash pictures, like you can see here. And a lot of people hoping to catch something. A lot of times people do. All right, so we just got out of the Birdcage. That was, I think, our 6th ghost tour we've ever done. And I can't wait to go back and review some of the audio I took in there. If I got anything or any pictures, I will put it in this video. If not, then I didn't. So a lot of times you can't find that stuff until after the fact. You don't see it with your eyes. But it's not uncommon to get weird little orbs and audio you didn't hear at the time. Stuff like that. But as it gets a little bit later now, one of the things I really like to do when I'm down here is just walk around on Allen Street at night. It's, as you can see, it's really quiet. A couple of the bars are still open back there. The Oriental Saloon is still rocking back there, but other than that, everything is closed. Big Nose Kate's there, still open, but not a lot of activity around here at night. It gets real quiet and real dark. But I like it. It's a really cool place. Sounds like we got a fight down here. Gonna see if I can see what's going on. Somebody's had a little too much vodka. What the hell is going on? It's probably not a good idea generally to stand on a street corner and yell that you're going to kill people, but this is Tombstone. What the Enjoy the show.
It's free.
That woman is still screaming. And the OK Cafe here is my favorite breakfast spot in town. There's a lot of good food in town, but when it comes to breakfast, I think they're the best. And this is by far my favorite item, the Doc Holiday burrito. It's scrambled eggs, bacon, ham, sausage, country fried potatoes, smothered in a country gravy. This building you see here is now the Tombstone Visitor Information Center, but at one time, it was the Tombstone Bank. And there were various robberies through the years. People have been shot in here. But it is still here. One of my very first trips to Tombstone, I was standing right about here, and I was wanting to see inside this building. It was about sunset. It wasn't completely dark, but I wanted to take a look inside this building because I knew it was the old bank. And so I was standing here and I had my face almost up to the glass, pretty much about like this. And right about the time that I just took a peek inside, these doors right here, like, gave me one of those. There was no wind to speak of. I was just like, what the hell was that? And I backed off a little bit and continued down the road, but that was something that was very strange. Very strange. It's definitely a nice, quiet Tombstone morning, as most early mornings are around here. We made our way over to the Doc Holiday Saloon. Not open yet, but 1880s guy is still here. What's going on, 1880s guy?
Well, hello there, Desert Sky Adventures. Good to see you. I've been out here for a while now, and all my friends have been either shot or died of dysentery. It's kind of a lonely life for a cowboy out here on the streets.
Gosh, you're kind of a buzzkill, 1880s guy. And now on the south end of town again, in front of the Birdcage. Right across from the Birdcage is T. Miller's Hotel. This is another very nice place to stay. And just like Wyatt's, there's only a handful of rooms available, so it's not always easy to book. But it is directly across from the Birdcage. You got that balcony view there. It is a very nice place to stay. And another historical marker, if you recall from the movie, Marshall White was shot by Curly Bill accidentally, but that actually did happen right here where the Birdcage now stands. Well, it looks like that will do it for our trip to Tombstone here. We're gonna hop back in the car and head back up to Phoenix, but we will be back sometime in the near future. We frequent this spot often, and we'll be sure to make some more videos next time we come out to Tombstone. So we really do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do us a favor, leave us a comment, hit the like button on the way out, and go ahead and subscribe. You want to make sure that you see all the future adventures we go on. We do have more things planned coming down the road. We're going to Disneyland, we're going back to Vulture City in March. But yeah, hit that subscribe button, it really helps us out, and that'll just about do it, I think. So again, hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see you down the road.